Hi, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, if it's afternoon where you are. This is our first training Tuesday, and every Tuesday this month, I will be hopping on live on our team page to give you some tips, some inspiration, some verbiage, or whatever strategies that I have to help you have the best month and work your business and meet those goals, rank up, all the things. So I wanted to start out with a first training on how I work my business daily to keep the flow of sales potentials coming into my funnel, because that's always important. We're always working on getting people, someone's calling me, on getting people into our funnel so that we can introduce Plexus to them and have conversations with them, help them achieve their health goals, get them started, all the things, and then beyond that, on the onboarding process once they've committed to using the product. So now I'm going to start this month with going over the things I do on a regular basis to help fill my funnel with potentials so that I can hopefully close them and meet my goals for the month and also help them achieve their health goals. And this is a great time to talk about that because we're in the first full week of the month. And I know you guys want to win all the incentives. There's a lot of money up for grabs. There's AirPods up for grabs. It's convention contest time. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I want to make sure that we are focused on growing our network, getting a new crowd of potentials, and keeping that going. So the first thing I do every morning when I sit down to work or when I get to my phone or whatever is make sure that I have the right posts out there in my audience. So for my audience to see. So when I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I will, don't wake up very first and grab your phone first thing. That's not a very good way to start your day. Then you become very reactive when you start your day looking at your phone. Set your intentions for the day, wake up, maybe practice some gratitude, meditate, do some things like that. Start your day on a positive note, have your pink drink, think about your day, and then I make sure that whatever I want to post that day is either out there or gets out there soon. Now, for example, last night I posted something about Plexus and Active, and so I saw some comments coming in on that this morning, so I'm responding to all those comments and keeping that going and keeping that bumping up really high to the top of my friend's newsfeed. Now, if I posted something maybe yesterday midday about my family, it wasn't about Plexus, whatever, I would make sure to get a Plexus post out this morning. And so it kind of depends on what the previous post was of what I post in the morning, but very first thing I do in the day is make sure my doors are open, because your posting on social media is showing everyone that you're open for business and you're serious about it. I want you to think of if you had like a brick and mortar store and you never opened the doors and you didn't have an open sign, or maybe you opened every couple days and you only turned your open sign on like Thursdays. Do you think people would come buy from you? Probably not. Do they think you're a business that can be accountable? Probably not. So posting every single day, making sure people know that you are the Plexus person to come to, that your doors are open and you are serious and open for business is very, very important. I do that first thing. Now, on about a weekly basis, maybe a couple times a week, I do this, doesn't have to be your workflow, but I love doing this and it works for me. It's worked very well for me recruiting wise, is I am in some Facebook interest groups. And these are groups that you can find and join depending on what your interests are. Now, I've joined ones for my kids, due date groups for my kids. I'm in boy mom groups. I'm in traveling with kids groups. I'm in some different cooking groups and things like that. So whatever your interests are, you can join them. If you're into gardening, you can join one of those. If you have a certain dog, you can join one of the, whatever. You can find things that you relate to other people on and join those groups accordingly. Now, about a couple times a week, once a week, 1 to 2 times a week, I'm in there commenting on other people's posts in there, showing that I'm really active and I'm kind of figuring out who I might relate to, who I want to engage with. I kind of see the types of people that are in there, who's posting, and I post a question in there also to get lots of answers. It's a great way to get answers to things you're already researching or looking into, but also develop relationships with the people in those groups. So I start to see the people who are answering my questions, and often there are a lot of the same people who I've commented on their questions before. So I start to see the same names pop up. I reply to every single comment and get a conversation going. I ask further questions in the comments and really try to develop a rapport with this person. I'm trying to see if there's someone who can relate to me and my content, someone I might like to follow on my social media because they're relatable, they're in the same life stage as me, have the same hobbies, whatever the thing is. So I try to talk to these people and then I send them a friend request. And some people accept, some people don't, which is totally fine. But when people accept, it's fun because I'm filling my feed of people that are relatable to me and have the same hobbies as me and who are going to relate to my content, who when I speak to, they will listen, or when they comment on my things, it's valuable, or I'm giving them valuable information, right? So I'm filling my feed with these people who are in the same area of life as me, whether it's hobbies or geographically or age or family size or whatever it is. There's a relatable component there, right? So that they have a little bit of a trust factor with me because we're very similar. And I've already started developing that relationship with them. And as soon as they accept my friend request, I have a Facebook friends list that's just non-Plexus people. So you can set up you can probably Google this, but you can set up a list that's separate people. You can divide out your Facebook friends list so that you add them to that. And then if you want to, from a desktop, you can click on that list and then you view a whole news feed of only non-Plexus people, all potentials, people who are not in Plexus. And so I add them to that list as soon as they accept my friend request. And right after that, I also go check out their stories. I'll comment on things from their stories so that those messages, by the way, are going straight to their inbox, which is really important. Facebook recognizes that in the algorithm, and they'll start showing more of your content to them if you've had conversations in their messenger. And I also comment on their most recent posts. I just kind of show them that I'm interested in engaging in their life, and it lets me know what kind of people they are, their interests, all those things. And you can see if there's somebody who's sharing things that are really negative or things that are polarizing, like politics or controversial topics or something. And those might be people that maybe I don't want them in my newsfeed. Maybe I don't want them on our team because they're negative or polarizing or complaining all the time or whatever. So this is a good opportunity to just be like, you know what, she's not really my cup of tea. So, and moving on from there. But oftentimes they're, family people, good moms that have great hobbies that I can relate to, and it'll be fun to follow them, and it'll be fun for them to follow me. So they're on my separate friends list. I'm commenting on their stuff, engaging in their stuff. And that's how I kind of have new eyeballs on my news feed, right? So now I'm constantly getting a new influx of eyes seeing my posts, because once they're my friend and they start seeing more of my content, they're going to start seeing more of my Plexus content as well. And the more I engage with them, the more they're going to see my content. So that's how I do that. So now I've got all these eyeballs on there, right? So moving on from there, I do this multiple times a week. So I've got lots of new friends, right? And this new friends list on Facebook has a bunch of new people on it, and all their content is on there that I can easily engage with almost every single night before I go to bed. I know a lot of us are guilty of this. You scroll Facebook pointlessly for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you go to sleep. I've turned that time into commenting and interacting with my potentials, because I only scroll my potentials Facebook friends list in the evening. And so I go through it and I comment on a bunch of stuff. I engage with their stories, whatever. That's what I do with my time. So it's productive time, even though I know, especially as moms, we like to have some just mindless time where nobody needs us and we don't need to do anything and all that. So I twist it a little bit and make it something that's productive for me in my business. So I do that in the evenings, most evenings, maybe, here or there, skip a night, but most evenings I do that before I go to bed at night. And then that list serves as kind of like a database of people that you can reach out to. So a lot of times I will notice when I've started developing a closer relationship with certain people and their posts start popping up to the top faster in that Facebook friends list. And so I'll see that I'm seeing their stuff over and over and over again. And that means that I'm interacting with them a lot. So then I'll click on their name, open a new message, and see if I messaged them before. If not, if I feel like I've been talking to them for a few months, or maybe it's only been a few weeks, but we have a good relationship at this point, and I feel like we've got a good rapport, I will shoot them a message and just see if they're interested in learning more about Plexus, because maybe they've seen some of my posts, maybe not, maybe they might be interested. And so we have a pinned announcement on our team page that it's called the Plexus Exposure Process, and it has all the way through like a first message through closing, right? Through enrolling them as an ambassador. And so that's a good sample message for you to go to and just kind of tweak, make it your own, to just see if somebody's interested in hearing more information. So visit that pinned post, the Plexus Exposure Process, on our team page for a sample conversation. But this standalone potentials, non-Plexus friends list that I have serves as a database of names for me to reach out to. That's one way I reach out to them. Another way, Plexus gives you a list of potentials to reach out to literally every single day. Facebook is a he now. He gives you birthdays, the birthdays of the day. And those are easy to open up and see. And why I love having that separate friends list is because when I hover over a name on the birthdays, you know where it says friends and has a little arrow? You can click on that. And that's when you, space where you can add them to a friends list or something. But when I open up the friends list to see if they've been added to anything, I can see whether they're on my non-Plexus potentials friends list. I can see if it's a potential. So some people are Plexus people, some people are potentials that I see the birthdays. And so I can hover over their name and quickly see if it's someone who maybe would like a birthday sample. So on our team page, you can also search for birthday samples. Search that and you will see the example message that comes up of offering someone a sample to celebrate their birthday. And it's a very non-pushy message, just like, hey, happy birthday. I want to take some time to connect with you. I know we don't know each other well, but I love Plexus and it's changed my life. I love sharing it. I would love to send you a free sample to celebrate your special day. You know, would you like me to send you one or whatever? So you can go read that message. That's a great way to reach out to potentials too. And sometimes they don't respond. Well, a lot of times they do. People love free stuff on their birthday. And so once I reach out to these people, I instantly put them on a note in my phone that I started this when I first started Plexus 4 years ago. At the time, it was just people who were messaging me because I was posting. So I said interested. It's called my interested list. No, you can call it whatever you want. But it's called my interested list because there were people that were interested when I first started. So I started listing their names. And so now anyone I send a message to, anyone I send a sample message to, anyone who messages me, I add them to a list on my phone. It's a note on my phone called the interested list. And so it's really, really long now because it's over 4 years old. And it's got all these potentials, you know, that haven't jumped in yet. I remove people once they jump in. But so that's my workflow. So I'm getting new potentials. This is how I reach out to new potentials. As soon as I reach out to them, I'm putting them on this list. I put them on that list, and then I write, usually like the next day, I'll write them in my planner. And I know a lot of you know that I use a paper planner. I love it. Here's my planner. Has all my names, right? All my things that I'm doing. This looks like a lot to you, but believe me, I've been doing this for 4 years, so there's a lot of people I got to follow up with now. If you're just starting, you won't have a planner that looks like that. But I put them in my planner for like maybe the next day. And I do the highest priority people at the top of the day. And my highest priority people are first, my potentials who I'm working on having conversations with. The second priority would be people brand new using their products. And the third priority are existing ambassadors who have been around for a few months or a few years at this point. So I use the very top to write the most important people. And then next is my people just starting their products. And the next is existing ambassadors. So after I send someone a message, I put them on my interested list on my phone. That is key to have it on your phone because my phone syncs with my computer, so I can see it wherever I am. I can adjust that list wherever I am. I can add notes to people's names wherever I am. And then if I am chatting with them or maybe I reach out to them and say they don't respond. So the next day, I wrote their name down. So when I get down to do some work to follow up with somebody who might be interested in Plexus, I have them right there. I'm like, oh, that's right. Katie didn't write back to me when I offered her a sample. I mean, let me check back in because a lot of people are really busy. They don't check their messages. Maybe they don't have the Messenger app on their phone. And so it takes a couple notifications for them to go check it. Maybe they checked it and responded in their mind, but didn't respond in real life. That happens to me all the time. Or they read it and forgot to respond, all the things. So I always check back in with them. And I will just shoot them a message again saying something like, hey, I just wanted to check in. I didn't hear back from you, but I'm packing samples for a few friends today. Did you want me to send you one? Or if it was a message asking if they wanted more info, you can, write something similar, maybe not include a sample, but hey, I wanted to check back in because I didn't hear from you yesterday. If I sent you a video or just some information, would you be open to checking it out and letting me know what you think? You don't have to be pushy, you don't have to be salesy, but a lot of people have never heard of Plexus before. They don't know what it does, or they've seen your post and they're too nervous to reach out, or they have a lot of health issues and they're not sure if Plexus could help them. And some people feel helpless and they've been watching you and they aren't quite sure if it's something that would help them, but maybe it will take you reaching out and providing them some information or opening the door for them to ask questions that's going to get them to see that they could really have amazing life-changing results. And so I always follow up. And then if they don't respond after that, I usually wait like a week and I'll check back in and see if they want a sample in both cases. I will see if they want me to send them a sample. And if they don't, I let it rest. That's fine. That means I need to have a better relationship with that person. So that probably means I need to spend more time engaging with them. Or my content isn't relatable to them, so we aren't engaging back and forth, or maybe they're just not on social media very much. and they don't see it and whatever, and that's fine. But putting in the effort to begin with is important, and making sure that you're reaching out and following up. I don't just send one message and leave it. I often will, make sure I'm engaging with them, send a message, send 2 follow-ups, one after a day or 2, and then another one maybe a week later, 5 to 7 days later, and then work on my relationship with that person, and really start engaging with them more, because clearly, maybe they aren't interested, or maybe they haven't seen enough of my stuff, or maybe they're not online as much, or whatever. So any number of things could be going on, but I cannot tell you the amount of times I've reached out to someone and they say, yes, I've been seeing your post. Thank you for reaching out. I've been thinking about it, but I've been nervous to ask. I have so many people that say that. Just yesterday, I sent out 3 birthday sample messages, and 2 of them responded saying, yes, I would love to try it. I've seen your post about the pink drink, and I'm so excited to get after my health goals for the new year. 2 of the 3 of them. So it's worth your time, and that's an easy way to get people kind of in your funnel. So, and get those conversations rolling. And now, again, once they try the sample, then you can send them information on whatever you sent them. You can send them info about Triplex. You can send information about, HC or Lean, or the whole Renew You combo, the Renew You challenge we have going on, all of that. We have product info and stuff on our team page. You can search about it. It's in your back office and shareables. There's everything you need to know right there. Everything is searchable. And I have that sample conversation in the Plexus Exposure process pinned at the top of our team page. You can see. What else? Oh, when you're having a conversation with these potentials, it's really, really important to ask a lot of questions. When somebody says, oh, what does Plexus do? Or what is Plexus? And then you just send this big blurb that's a bunch of information, or a bunch of sciencey info, a bunch of jargon, or a bunch of ingredient stuff. That's a lot for people to digest. And sometimes they won't read it all. And a lot of times, if you don't ask them any questions about them, they're not likely to respond to you. So asking them questions about what they're struggling with, what they're experiencing, what they would like to find relief from. Is there any areas of their health they would like to target? Or are they looking to make some more money from home? That's really easy in the nights or during nap time or whatever. I deal with a bunch of moms, so I've got a bunch of people with nap times. And so just ask them if there's anything they wanted to focus on, and you would love to show them things that might help them. And if they say one thing, they're not going to ever tell you everything on the first try. Believe me. Somebody's like, oh, I wish I had more energy. Okay, well, oftentimes a lack of energy is a result of a bunch of other things. It's a gut health issue, it's a sleep problem, it's blood sugar imbalances, it's sugar addiction, it's all this stuff, right? It goes hand in hand. So saying Plexus will definitely help you with that. Oftentimes I see that chronic fatigue goes along with some other health issues. Do you also struggle with whatever it is, right? Like all the things I just listed. Or we have that symptoms chart. It's in the comments of that Plexus Exposure process post that's pinned to the top of our page. We have a symptoms chart that gives a bunch of example symptoms that people commonly find relief from with Plexus. So you can ask them if they struggle with anything on that list in addition to, and usually they'll tell you, yes, I actually have anxiety, and I take a sleep medication for insomnia and whatever. So they'll start listing these other things. And you can explain to them how Plexus might help them, and maybe send them some testimonies. And so keeping that going and sending them information and saying, does this sound like something you could benefit from? Does this sound like a person you could relate to? Would you be willing to give it a shot for a month or 2 and see if it's something that could really help you? And asking just really a lot of questions about their life, what they're going through. How long have they struggled with those issues? Did they take any medications, or have they in the past to solve those issues? What have they tried? What are they looking forward to? Do they want to find relief from those things? Are they willing to give it 60 to 90 days? All those things. And then you can kind of handle objections once you give them pricing and product info, and ask if they're ready. Asking for the sale is really important. When you give them information about the products, asking if it's something they would want to try for a couple of months and see if it could help them. And then they say sure, and they say, okay, this is the amazing deal that it is. Present the pricing. Again, we have that script written for you, so I won't go into that now, but present the value of it. Definitely relay the value to them. And if they have pricing objections, I always, start with the 199s and I go down to the 99s. And if that isn't a comfortable place for them, ask them about a budget. Ask them if it's something that they really would like to do. If they're working with a budget, how much do they want to spend on something? And oftentimes I will ask them if they really want to start. I have somebody in mind right now who she knows the different welcome packs, but she really wants to do a $199 because she loves all the products in it. And I'm like, awesome. How are we going to make this work for you? Do you think that maybe each week you can set aside X amount of dollars, and then at a certain date we can follow up and get you signed up at that time? Can we work on that? So everything can be worked through, but understanding where they're coming from, if they're working with a budget, what their goals really are, and when you can help them enroll would be fantastic. So ask a lot of questions about what's going on in their life. And if they say, you know what, it's just not a good time right now, we're paying off their credit cards from Christmas, and so maybe another time, it's just not going to work for us right now, then I say, great. I totally understand Christmas can be very expensive, so when would be a better time to circle back with you? And then they will give you a date. So now you're making an appointment with them in the future to talk to them again. And then I always say, in between that, I say, can I keep you in the loop with sales, specials, and events that are going on? So in case it's a better time for you, you can try it or jump in. Most always they say yes. So now that's basically their opt-in. So they've just opted in for you sending them information, right? It's kind of like when you check the little box, like, yes, I want to receive promotional emails. So you're asking them for permission for you to send them information about sales and promotions and all of that. So I always ask that. So I've got, if they've given me a time or price objection, we've worked on a plan for them to be able to afford it at a later date. I've asked them what that later date is, so I will check in on them at that time, and I will ask them if I can keep them in the loop with sales and specials and events, so that anytime we have an online event, a trial group, I'm sending out samples, I have a promo code, whatever it is, I check in with them and I have them list. And so something that's really important with events that are going on, when we come up with a team calendar, for example, and we have this 3-day trial group and we have an online event later this month, I have those people written down that I was just talking to that maybe it didn't close last week, and I write them in on those days. Like, hey, today I need to follow up with these 4 people because they would be great people to check in with about the 3-day trial group, or they'd be great to check in with about the online event, or whatever it is. And so I have them written down at certain times, and I also have them on that big list of people who are interested in Plexus. And so I can always go to that list and go, check off those people. Like, I sent her this information, I sent her this information, and I go through and send everybody all the sales and specials and events, and I invite them, everything. So I've got this running list all the time. And if anybody says, no, take me off your list, if I'm ever interested, I'll let you know, but right now it's just not something I want to do, great, I'll take them off my list. I have integrity like that. I don't spam people with information, but if they're like, yeah, sure, keep me in the loop, then I will, because you never know the time that people are going to want to jump in. And so I also think that when they say, yeah, check in with me at the beginning of next month, because at the end of this month, we'll be paying off our credit cards and I want to sign up the first week in February. Great. You bet your bottom dollar I'm writing this person's name in my planner for the first week in February, and I will follow up, because that shows my dependability. It shows her that I am serious about my business. It shows her that I will have, respect for her time and keeping my word and all of that. And so that's really important too. And staying accountable is really, really important. People aren't going to take you seriously if you're not taking your business seriously. And that goes back to sharing every single day. People are not going to take you seriously if you're sharing willy-nilly every now and then. If you're not keeping your doors open of your business on a regular basis, they don't know what to expect from you and they won't take you seriously. And so if you're going to tell someone, yeah, I'm going to follow up with you at the beginning of February, then you better be following up with them at the beginning of February, right? And even if it's not a good time for them, then work on all those objections again. Do you have any more questions I can answer for you? What else is going on in your life? Do you have any big life events happening? Some people are getting married, buying a house, having a baby, all the things, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. So asking them about that and making an appointment for a later date to check in with them and making sure you're keeping them in the loop the whole time is really important. So what else can I talk about? So anyway, my kind of workflow when I'm getting potentials into my funnel is always friending new people. A lot of times I do it through Facebook interest groups, like I talked about earlier. If you're just hopping on, go back and watch that. You can also look through the mutual friends that Facebook suggests for you if you haven't exhausted that list of kind of acquaintances and coworkers and husbands' friends and kids' parents and kids' friends' parents, all that kind of stuff. If you haven't exhausted that list yet on Facebook, definitely go adding a new few friends to your list every single day. But I like to be really active in Facebook interest groups and really grow my network that way, because a lot of people in there have totally different needs than my own, and they live in a totally different place than my own, and so I can relate to a lot of people that way and kind of grow my network that way. Because a lot of times when we find that we have maybe a list of potentials who we're talking to and they're just stuck in the rut of I can't afford it, or they're not in a good time in their life, or they have 3 other friends who are selling Plexus, so they don't want it from you. Well, guess what? You can go find new potentials, okay? If you're having trouble with the people you're talking to, go get new people, all right? So people are out there. There's like so many people on the internet. Just go find them. And so saying that your network isn't receptive is kind of just an excuse. You can go grow your network. I've been in this 4 years now, and I've grown my network this entire time. And so I have thousands of people that I don't know on my Facebook friends list right now that I've met online, and they're joining our team. So go do that, and then start reaching out to them and start using that list of new friends to really engage with them, interact with them, and see the type of people you'd want on your team and you want to do this with, and start shooting out some messages. And maybe if you want to do the birthday sample thing, start doing that too. And then we have an example of a conversation from very first message all the way to closing, and handling some objections along the way. Start doing that and start getting people into your funnel so that you have this big pack of potentials to speak with every month to try and hit your goals. And you're growing your list of people who are interested in Plexus, so that when we have a trial group and an online event and a promo code, you can reach out to all of them, and maybe it might be the right time for one of them to jump in. So these activities are super important, because if you're not working your business, you're not going to be happy with your results. And if you're somebody who has a bigger team and you've become kind of this manager of your team and you're wondering, why is my team not working? Well, they're probably not working because you're not working. So sponsoring people and helping them sponsor people is very important, because your team is going to do what you do. And also, if you're just trying to recruit people and grow your team from the beginning, if you're not posting regularly and you're not growing your network and you're not messaging people, then how can you expect other people to want to join you and do the same? Because it doesn't look like you're taking your business seriously, because maybe you aren't hitting goals, and you're not earning incentives, and maybe you're not ranking up, and maybe you're not doing all these things, and people aren't seeing it. They're not seeing any evidence of you working your business, because you might not be working your business in the best way. And so when you can celebrate wins, and you can celebrate achievements, and you can welcome new people onto your team, and you can say, hey, look at my new business partner, or look at this, girl that's gonna improve all of her health issues, and I'm so excited she's joined me, I'm excited for her health journey, whatever, and help them post about it and be excited. People start seeing that, and they start taking you seriously. So it all starts with growing your network and talking to potentials and reaching out and closing some of those people so they can join your team, and you can celebrate all those things. So definitely take some inventory of the tasks that you're doing. Think about all the time you might be working your business, in quotes, and is it really income producing activity? Or is it scrolling team pages and commenting in team chats and commenting on other people's posts, right? Those are not IPAs. Growing your network, reaching out, following up, and enrolling are IPAs. So make sure that you're doing those first. And this is just a little tidbit of how I constantly keep new potentials in my funnel, and I keep conversations going, and I'm always adding people in my planner and following up on a later date. And so I constantly have an influx of new people that I'm speaking with all the time. Just like yesterday, I have sent out 2 samples today, birthday samples. So those are going to be people I will follow up with. I will invite them to things. I will send my promo codes that I have, all the things. I'm constantly doing that. So I hope this is helpful. And remember to check out the pinned post on our team page, the Plexus Exposure Process, to give you some tips about reaching out in conversations. So thanks, guys.